Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, the start of another week. Time for some inspirational coffee. I am intrigued. I'm intrigued by what you all are going to think about our conversation this morning. A little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little nervous. We're talking about a very powerful and intriguing, unique way of looking at things. And I'm excited to see what your thoughts are on what I have to share. So as you're coming in, please give each other some love, wish each other, my tongue tied there a little bit. Wish each other a wonderful rest of the week. It is the start of a new week. I always love Monday mornings. It's filled with so many possibilities. I remember when I didn't love Mondays. I was getting ready this morning going, oh my gosh, Tasha, you've been showing up every Monday morning at 8 a.m. for a long time, rain or shine, no matter where in the world I am. Making sure that I'm here Monday morning at 8 a.m. because this is as much for you as it is for me. I get a little the things that make my heart feel full. First of all, is just being here with you, getting to share my thoughts, my ideas, hoping to inspire you and put you in a place of new thought yourself. And so I think this morning's conversation is going to be just that. All right. So I see that you're all coming in. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I love it. Carla says, happy Monday, fam. That's right. Here. Oh, Shanika. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I'm going to get distracted by all of the amazing people. So as you're coming in, just welcome to the start of a new week. So this morning I'm talking about what if God were your CFO? What if God were your CFO? And for those of you who've never heard that term, it means your chief financial officer. And there's always a story behind it. When you hear me going left field and you're like, Tasha, where did you yank this from? There's always an amazing and powerful story behind it from my life, usually. But I want to just have you think for a moment, what if you 100% relied on God to oversee your finances? I know those of us that are Christians, you would say, oh, I already do that. I pray over my finances. And that's one level of giving it to God, I guess, giving it to higher power source. I know not everyone believes in God, and I want to honor that. So if you say universe, source, higher power, just, insert whatever works for you, because this conversation is going to be relevant no matter what your belief system is. Well, you would kind of need to believe in a superpower, a higher power, right? That is, in essence, for our highest good. It says in the Science of Getting Rich, everything, nature is friendly to our plans, like God's desire, the universe, everything exists so that we can fulfill our reason for being here. Right? So I love it. Okay. So this is not just praying over your finances. It's taking it up another level and completely relying on God. And why would you want to do that? Who am I talking to this morning? It's if you've ever been in a place, or if you are in a place where you feel like money and the idea of wealth just overwhelms you. And no judgment, right? That's why we're having this conversation. No judgment. It's like, you know what, Tasha, I can handle like my month to month bills. But when I start thinking about wealth and lots of money, it overwhelms me. If you feel like you constantly struggle to see how is this all going to work out, I know so many women, so many of you, the thing that, the place that you stop on the path to wealth is the worrying over the how. You can't see the how, and you really struggle with that. If you feel like you have no personal evidence of your wealth capability, like, you know what, there is no proof in my family's history. There's no proof in my life. I have been trying, and I literally, Tasha, I feel like I have no evidence. I have nothing to go off of that would say I can be wealthy and I have the capability of wealth. I have no unique business idea. I'm not outgoing. I have a job. I don't have this big, massive, network of people. I really have no evidence that I'm capable of wealth. This conversation is for you. If you feel like you know yourself and you spend a lot of time and thought in lack or limitation of supply seems very real to you, where it's like, well, if I get all this money, then what about everyone else, right? And it's and let me, in the desire for wealth, let me kind of hold on to what I have. Let me be super vigilant with what I have, because I don't know when I'm going to get more. I don't know if I really will ever materialize wealth. Then this is for you. If your dreams are bigger than your logic, if your dreams are bigger than your logic, and this is probably the one I want to talk about the most, because this is me. This is my story. This is how I came to do this very thing that I'm talking to you about. I was honestly so overwhelmed by my dreams. They made no sense. Zero. They made zero sense to my logical mind. And so I was like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I know for sure I have these big, when your dreams are so big, you start thinking you're silly. That was me. Like, Tasha, you really are just, wasting time here. Like, these big numbers that you're writing down and you're coming up with, and you're, putting out there and putting on your vision boards and doing all of that. It's overwhelming to think, I don't know logically how I'm going to do that. There is nothing in the logical realm that my mind can hold on to so that this can make sense to me. So I want to know, is that anybody here that I am talking to this morning? Does any of those things apply? You either, a lot of money overwhelms you. You worry about your ability to manage great wealth. You struggle with the how. You have no personal evidence of your wealth capability. Like, so far in your life, there's really nothing, maybe in your family history, that you can see where you can go, okay, I know I can have, incredible amounts of wealth because I've either done it before or seen it in my family history. You worry about limitations. Is there enough? Do I have enough? Will there be enough? Will I always be provided for? Am I going to run out of money? Or do you feel sometimes like your dreams just feel way bigger than your limited logical mind can process? Is that Shirley says, yes, I'm singing with the choir, and I'm orchestrating the choir, Shirley, because this is all content from my life. So I want to, speaking to me, Marcia says, I want to talk about that this morning, because here is what I decided to do several years ago that really helped me. I recognize that my human limited mind, Tasha, the human, could not fathom the process of wealth. I had also had, several things happen in my life that at the time I was allowing to be true. It's like I was agreeing to the things that would prove that I couldn't financially succeed. And so I knew that I was going to honor the desire that was in me for great wealth, and I needed to do something about the other parts of me that was like, oh, but you've never done this before, and you don't know how, and you're not good with money, and all of that. I needed a solution to that so that I could do something with this big dream and the big desire. And for me, here's the decision that I made. I decided that I, Tasha, would become the CEO of my life. I was going to be the CEO. And I was going to hire God, universe, source, higher power, however you language that. I was going to hire God as the CFO. I said, okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to be over here directing my life, my business, my family, all the things, right? I am the chief executive officer in charge of all things Tasha. The only thing that I am handing over in terms of having a successful, abundant life God, I am giving you the job of managing the money. Manage it, make it, bring it, grow it, do everything with money. That is all on you because I, in my limited human self, I can't figure it out. And so, why did I decide to do that? And why do I want to encourage you all to think about this? And remember, because I see Dakira on here, and I know that woman is a woman of strong faith. And it just prompted me, Dakira, you just prompted me to say, I want to distinguish. There's a difference between I'm praying over my finances versus I'm giving you, God, the job of taking care of it, managing it, growing it, paying me, all of it. Everything to do with money and wealth is God's. And I was thinking about how can I give you the distinction. So today, my house cleaners are coming, right? And my husband laughs at me whenever the house cleaners are coming. I spend a good 2 hours cleaning the house before they get here, like picking up the stuff. If you were to walk in my house right now, you'd be like, well, you don't need the house cleaners, right? And so he laughs. He's like, why do you need them? You literally just did the job. And I'm like, no, no, no. I just made it easy for them. That's the difference between like, oh, you know what? I'm praying over my finances, but I'm really involved in it, right? I'm not telling. I want to make really clear is this is you are saying to yourself, I am going to surrender my finances, my wealth creation, my everything money to God. Not trying to figure it out myself because I've done that and I'm just going to turn it over. And that's what worked for me. I'm in a different place today because I made that decision so many years ago. I'm in a different place in a lot of ways, and I'm going to talk about that. But I just want to encourage you to consider why you would want to do this. For me, the thing that really made this make sense, I was like, listen, God, universe, source, whatever you choose to say, is the source of infinite wealth. Like where all of this wealth is going to come from is in essence the superpower, right? God, universe, source, infinite availability of wealth at that realm. And so that'd be like saying, hey, Warren Buffett, here is little old me. Can you please take my little bit of money and can you invest it and create great wealth for me? And while you're at it, can you just manage my money, manage my finances, put me in the right rooms, put me in different opportunities that will help me to create and generate wealth. Like, wouldn't we all love to just like have Warren Buffett on speed dial to do that for us? Well, we got something better, God. And so for me, I was like, I don't want the smartest financial person that we know and all look up to. I want person higher than that. I want God. I want universe. I want source. That is who I want running my money and my wealth. And so for me, that made a lot of sense. So here's the thing, saying that God, you're in charge of this does not abdicate my responsibility to take action. I understand God is running the money, handling the finances, doing all the things with my wealth. But we have kind of like a deal. I got to do something, right? And so I take my actions. Remember, I'm the CEO. So I take my actions and God issues checks. That's the way I see it. My boss is God. So I am down here running my operation called my life. I am the CEO of that. God is the CFO. God writes the checks. So what that allows me to do is to be crystal clear on where the boundaries are. I do not have to worry about money. I have to take care of being the CEO, taking my inspired actions, doing the things that I'm called to do, living in purpose and faith, but God's got the money. And so for me, it was this huge, like, I don't have to worry about this anymore. I don't have to try to figure it out. I don't have to do anything. Like, God's got that. So I want to say, I want to inspire you to think about that. I also realize that one of my shortcomings was feeling like I wasn't great with money. I didn't have, the knowledge that was required. When you look at other people who've really grown wealth, I was like, I don't know how to do that. Nobody showed me how to do that. Well, you know what? Well, God is now my CFO. The universe source is now your CFO. That is infinite wisdom, infinite insights. I don't have to worry about the how. How it's going to happen is no longer my job. When I tell you all the how is not your business, these are the places. This is where I go to make that make sense to me. I am trusting God, the source of all wealth, the all knowing, all wise, all the knowledge, all the insights, know what's going to happen in the market today, tomorrow, and forever, know what's going to happen in the economy. Like all of it's already figured out. And that person that's doing all of that is managing my wealth. Right? So that is that is one of the things that for me again takes me out of the how and the worrying about the how. It's like, no, not my job. Why do I don't need to clean the house when the cleaning people are coming, right? I don't need to do this. That's God's job. And I am really committed to that. It is not my job. And anytime I see myself going over there trying to do all that, I am like, yep, no, yank myself back over here. Your job, CEO. You take action, you run your life. You do the work, God writes the checks, right? So that's, there we go. I agree with you, Tasha. I also, it has taught me to have faith in God's timing. Um, and God's long term plans. I can look back at my life and see there are so many things that I was worried about, that I made mistakes with, that I didn't do it perfectly and right. And then I can look back now 10 years later and go, wow, I see the greater plan. Sometimes, you know what? God allowed it to not work so I could learn a very valuable lesson. And that would allow me to never like try to interfere again with God, what's God's plan, you know? Or to make a decision without praying first, or really just saying, one of the things that I tell people I do is I say, okay, God, I'm taking this action. I'm over here in CEO role. I'm taking this action and I'm just giving you thanks that you will take care of the finances that comes as a result of this action. Right. And anytime I get myself twisted thinking I'm doing it all, it's like, I was like, let me just remind you, Tasha, let me just remind you. And so I look back and I'm like, wow, there was a bigger picture, a bigger long-term picture that I couldn't see. There was better timing that I couldn't see. I wish I would have thought of some examples to give you. I know there's so many, but I'm just on the spot right now. And maybe I'll do another one and I'll give you some examples of all of this. But here's the biggest thing that happened for me. I know I can trust God. I don't know about you, but I have complete trust in the infinite wisdom of God. Whether you say universe or source, I know that if you're here and you're listening, that you're probably drawn to this conversation because you have a deep spiritual sense of belief. Whether you call it the universe, you call it source, you call it higher power, you say God, however you language it, I know that you were drawn to this conversation or you would have just left already because you have a big belief that there is a superpower whose desire it is that you should have everything, whose entire existence is to be expressed through you. And so for me, I knew I could trust that. That makes sense to me. I don't need, some of you were like, I need proof. I was talking to one of Sebastian's friends recently, and he's like, if you prove that God exists, I'll believe it. But if you also prove that God doesn't exist, I'll believe that too. I'm like, okay, interesting. I don't need all that, right? Like I know for me, my belief is a bazillion percent. And so what that allows me to do is to have a level of trust and faith that I needed in the beginning. I needed very much to not trust myself. I couldn't trust myself. I didn't believe in myself. And one of the things that hiring God as my CFO has done for me is allowed me at first to totally surrender it and say, I have no clue, to starting to have a little more faith and trust in me. And I don't that doesn't mean I'm like, God, I'm taking the job back. But as I've given it to God and I've seen the things that have happened in my finances that are inexplicable, and then I start to go, what is that true that I'm not great with money? How about if, with God as my partner, I start spending a little more time with my money. I start having conversations with the right people about money and wealth. And literally with time I've seen, I spoke to my financial advisor recently and I was like, wow, Tasha, look at you. And like, I've just grown up in total trust and faith, right? Um, oh, Deanna says, allowing God to manage my finances has allowed me to be limitless. Yes, I love that. So the other thing is that God can create financial miracles, right? I can tell you there are so many times, and I know every single one of you knows this. I am remembering literally I was in college and things were tight. And I remember having an FPL bill. It's one of these things where I'm just it's so we're talking about 20 plus years, lots of years since I was in college. And I had a electricity bill due and I had no money, $0 in my account. And I remember just being in such fear. And here's the beautiful thing about those moments that we make mean so much and we put ourselves in fear, but it's actually an opportunity for you to see what it's like to turn things over to God. And so I just prayed. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to pay this bill. I have no way of earning any money in time to pay the bill. And sure enough, you know the rest of the story, right? Before I needed to, like literally the day before or the day of, I cannot remember how I got the money. I just know I got it to the extent that I drove to an office instead of mailing a check. I drove to some place or other to pay the bill in cash in person. And so for me, I love that my CFO can work financial miracles at the drop of a hat, anyway, anyhow, anytime. I love it. I'm all for it. So that's the other thing that that makes me, truly just hire God in that role. And then so many of you, and I know this used to be me, is where we were raised with all of these negative connotations about money, and we fear that if we become wealthy we're going to be all the things that we heard wealthy people are, right? We're no longer going to be our true authentic selves, who we are, the good people that we are. And so for me, knowing that God is my CFO, that's my moral compass, right? Like if I start getting off track into creating wealth in ways that just are not in alignment with God, then it's like, okay, Tasha, you've kind of gone off track. And I love knowing that the person in that role, God, for me, has the ultimate moral compass of good for all, right? Good for all. So I love all of the things that everyone is sharing, but here's what I want you all to do. And Astoria said it best. Today, I am hiring God as my CFO. Today, if this really has you thinking, if this really has you make sense to you, if you really just want to surrender completely the creation of wealth, and especially if you know you need it because you've been struggling to try to figure it out so much, then I just want to inspire you to hire God. It's it. Hire God as your CFO. I'm telling you, it is going to be a journey that is wonderful and magical and easy. And you are going to open yourself up. First of all, you take the pressure off of yourself and you go, I am CEO. Now, remember though, this you can't just go, I'm going to hire God as CFO and sit and twiddle my thumbs. It's not going to work. When you give that job away, it means you have space, and that space is now your part, your place. God's only going to do his best in that role, universe, source, as you take action. That's the deal. The way this formula works, that is the deal. You go over here, you be CEO of your life, you take the actions that you're inspired to take. God writes the checks. That's the way I love, and that's the way I see it working. I know for a fact that you're not going to be able to just, God's not a magician. That's not what that's not what this is all about. So here we go. Everyone's I hire God and never miss Tasha here on Clubhouse. Today, right now, Tracy says, right now, God is my CFO, right? Here's the last thing I want to say about this. I literally, just like you would have a meeting with your team, literally, what I love about God as my CFO, it's not like my financial advisor, it's not like my tax guy. I don't have to make a phone call and get on their schedule and figure out when they're available. Me and God, we be talking in the car, driving to the grocery store. I'm like, listen, God, this is a situation. This is a situation at hand. You see, recently, this literally happened. I looked at my credit card balances and I don't know what I had going on. I guess I was traveling, I was doing all kinds of stuff. And I looked at my balances and combined it was $20,000. And I was like, where is $20,000 going to come from right now for me to pay these balances? And I was like, driving and I was like, why are you trying to figure it out? I go, hey God, 20,000. Figure that out for me by next week. And I literally, that was a conversation done. I gave gratitude. I said, thank you. I'm so grateful you're going to figure that out for me. Thank you so much. Because, I don't like it. I just want these balances gone. And literally, I think I was telling Judith this recently. I didn't have to do a thing. Out of nowhere, this idea just like swerved into my mind. And it was the memory of some $20,000 bond I had bought that I totally forgot about. That was now 22,000. So I got extra. And I was like, there you go. Right. And so I love that. I don't know about you. I want to have those conversations where anytime I need it, anytime I want, we're just cool. I don't have to be all serious. I don't have to act like I know what's going on in the stock market, figure out interest rates. I just can be Tasha, simple. You know what, God, here's the deal. Can you sort this out for me? Thank you so much for figuring this out for me. Thank you. So that is what I love. And I hope that that inspires you. I Barbara says, God has always been my CFO. I write him/her letters. Yep, that's another really great way. It's like, seriously, develop a relationship with your CFO, right? I think one of the things is that we think of, I know sometimes I think of my tax guy or my financial advisor is just like being too smart and serious and I can't hang. But like with God, I could just be like, so here's the deal. So write letters, have a relationship, do all the things, drive and talk to God, be in the grocery store, having a conversation. Anytime you want, your CFO is available. All right. So the last thing I will say is I have an amazing event this Thursday at 12 Eastern. You all want to be there. And because I want you all, I want to tell you this is an important conversation that we have to have. It's about love and wealth. Love and wealth. The things that we want, the three things we want the most in life. We want health, right? We want really good health. We want to know that financially we're safe because it solves a lot of other things. And we want love. And so we're going to have a conversation about those two things, two of the three, on Thursday. Type the word event. Please go ahead and type the word event to make sure you get a special notification for Thursday. So if you've typed it before, just go ahead and type it again. No harm, no foul. There can't be anything bad that happens, but you'll be assured that you get the link for Thursday at 12 Eastern. You all want to be here. Type the word event. Go ahead. Hang on. Let me put it back up. Type the word event in the comment. And part two, check Facebook Messenger because you're going to get a special link on Thursday for Thursday. So you want to make sure you check Facebook Messenger and say, yes, I want to be enrolled so that you get the notification for Thursday. All right. Okay. With that, I love you all. Go have a wonderful rest of the week. Mwah. Make it an amazing week. Bye, everyone.